Welcome to another episode of Inspired Voices. My name is Riera, and this is Laurie Buob. Hello.
Hello.
Why don't you tell everybody what you do?
I am a chiropractor at Life Clinic currently. I've been a chiropractor for 20 years.
Yeah. I've I want to have you on because I feel like you have this vast knowledge in your brain and it needs to come out somehow. I don't know. So decided to have you
Definitely.
on.
One of my purposes is obviously to, like I've told you in the past, is my legacy is making sure that people realize they can heal themselves. They don't need gadgets or gadgets. You need to just realize you got to do the work to get to where you need to go. And it takes time, but it does work.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
that's what I wanted to impart to my patients. And
yeah, that's good. It's always a good thing, right?
it is.
So why don't we start from the top? Where are you from?
I'm from Palatine, Illinois.
Palatine?
Palatine. It's the suburbs of Chicago.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So what,
Yeah.
did you go to Chicago a lot?
Of course. I mean, I worked at, so before I became a chiropractor, I was a fitness instructor at East Bank Club down in Chicago.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's like a 25,000 square foot
So
gym.
you grew up there all your childhood?
About 25 years.
Oh, wow.
And then I moved to Tucson.
Okay, so wait, hold on. So were you always active as a kid?
Oh, yes. I played baseball when I was one of the first girls back in the 70s who played baseball with the boys.
Nice. How was that?
That was great. I mean, my first time up at bat, I got up and the coach pulled everybody in and I hit the ball over everybody's head.
That's how you do it.
My mom and dad were very proud of me.
Oh, yeah. All right, so you were little, you were always playing sports. You played first female on your team, like a high school team? Or?
No, it was just minor major leagues.
Okay, gotcha.
You know, little league kind of stuff.
Yeah. So did you ever get any crap from the boys?
Oh yeah, lots of crap. I mean, they threw the ball harder.
Yeah.
I have had, ring marks on my legs and my arms from them throwing and hitting me. But then eventually you gain their respect too, and then it was pretty cool. I think I had an in the park home run. So part of it is you're in the minors and you have to get drafted to get to the majors, and not everybody gets drafted. But I did get drafted, so I was on this team, and the guys didn't really like me at all. So, but once I hit a home run in the park, they had new respect for me. And even my brother would be at school, and his friends were like, "Oh my God, your sister was an amazing baseball player," and he'd hate that because everything that I would do well.
Yeah.
It was like a
interesting. Yeah, I feel like you have this natural athletic ability to yourself.
It even bothers my son. We go and play golf, and I played 3 times. Like, Mom, how come you can pick up anything and do so well?
Right, yeah.
Just genetics, just lucky.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think you have a good sense of awareness, too, which really, I think, helps you with that athletic ability of picking up things really quickly and stuff like that.
Definitely.
So, did you play any other sports?
I played basketball and softball when I went in high school, and that was about it.
Okay.
After that, I kind of got into weight training, and then I did some triathlons for probably a decade. And
so with all the sports that you did you always have a goal in mind with them?
No, I just love the training part.
Oh, okay.
I still train to this point. I still swim 3 times a week. I run 2-3 times a week. I lift weights 5 days a week. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I love feeling healthy and being active.
Yeah.
Kind of like you.
Yeah. Well, I try. So even with baseball, you didn't have you didn't want to go to the majors or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
I just kind of like anything else, I think one thing I try to impart to my son is just to have fun in what you're doing. Not have, to me, it's like win or lose, it's how you play the game if you had fun.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's kind of was always, my dad kind of ingrained that in me as a kid, and I just kind of did it like that.
Okay, gotcha. And I guess your parents were pretty encouraging.
My dad was. My mom wasn't very athletic. It was my dad.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So you would go in the backyard and play catch with your dad and stuff like that?
My brother, my dad, and I.
So one older brother?
Younger.
Younger brother. Okay, gotcha. All right, cool. So what'd you do after high school then?
So, let's see. Obviously, I went to community college for a couple of years, got my gen eds out of the way, and then I went to university, and then after that I worked for a bit, and then I went back, got a master's degree in exercise science, cardiac rehab.
Did you go, when you first got into college, not the community college, but after that, did you go into a health and fitness kind of route?
I actually was pre-nursing, got in the nursing program.
Why pre-nursing?
I just liked medicine. I just liked science. I liked helping people.
Yeah.
And then that summer I worked at a gym. It was actually Bally's back in the day, so I'm dating myself, back in 1984.
There you go.
And I loved being in the gym. I just found it like exhilarating, just being all these healthy people exercising, motivating, inspiring me. And so when I went to school, I started and I took that semester off and I went back.
Yeah.
And I did a kinesiology degree after that.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Were you always in the gym? Like working out kind of thing?
No, I never. I mean, a lot of times I was just really playing outside as a kid. You know, I didn't really go to the gym until probably high school, senior year of high school, and I started doing weight training at the gym. But girls didn't do much weight training.
Yeah.
Back then, I mean, kids just don't. I mean, some kids do now, but
right.
Back in my day,
were you more like a tomboy kind of person?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. I can see the girly girl in you though.
Oh, thanks.
So you enjoyed from the moment that you like started like working in a gym, or not working in a gym, but working out in a gym,
and working,
I guess, right? You kind of just fell in love with the training aspect of it.
I did. I did taught classes, I did group exercise, did personal training.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When did you? Was that in college?
That was that was pre-college, and then when I got out of college, that's what I did.
Gotcha. Okay.
In Chicago.
All right. So, what was there a goal in mind when you went to like that time period right there?
Was there a goal in mind?
Yeah, it was like I want to do this as like become a doctor. Was the ultimate goal.
No, I thought I'd be a trainer.
Yeah.
And then I had worked I'd finished my master's degree and I moved to Tucson, Arizona, where I worked at Canyon Ranch, which is a health resort and spa. And
why there?
That
seems like a random place.
It's warmer. It's warmer.
Yeah.
I really and it was a really good experience. I got an internship there. It was a really nice place. I got to work with a lot of VIPs and trained a lot of people that were pretty interesting. But people always ask me about, it's interesting, like people always ask me like, what's my goals? I think I was just kind of like trying to figure out who I was.
Ooh.
Right?
Okay.
Being around my parents and trying to get away from the protective nature of my parents and being independent. So I think that was my goal at that point. It was more personal than it was professional.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
And then as I was there on my own, I just was drawn, and I'm like, I want to go back to school and so I did pre-med at the University of Arizona for a couple of years. And I was interviewing for medical schools at the time because I loved Dr. Weil. I love functional medicine. It was my passion, like getting people from a nutrition standpoint, exercise standpoint, changing their lives. I think that was my goal at that point. Just because being an exercise physiologist and instructor, people just came to me to lose weight. And it just wasn't very challenging,
Gotcha.
So that's kind of why it was like my next goal was to become a doctor. And my best friend's husband, who's a neurologist, neurosurgeon, my friend Barbara, she's a chiropractor.
Yeah.
And he said to me, you're not going to want to be a medical doctor. It's not where it needs to be yet, right? Still, you're sitting at a desk, you're handing out scripts, people are not really interested in wellness. You need to look at chiropractic. It's more active, it's more based on fixing your function versus is pain and sick care model. And sure enough, I spent my first semester in school, and I was like, this is where I want to be, and I was really happy.
Yeah. Okay. So what about, because like, have you looked into like physical therapists? But
physical therapists, obviously, they have to practice under a doctor or a doctor's script. You don't have a lot of autonomy at that point. They're changing those laws, but still you have to get a doctor's script to go see them. Whereas for me, I'm a portal of entry as a chiropractor.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But things have changed, right? Back when I was there, physical therapists didn't have DPTs. They weren't doctors of physical therapy. But still, you can see them for 2 weeks, and then you got to get a script from a doctor, and they kind of dictate how you take care of them.
Yeah.
So it's just a little different back then. That's kind of why I picked chiropractic.
Gotcha.
Plus, I like adjusting. I like when you look at the bottom line, and the bottom line for any musculoskeletal injury is making sure that our joints move at 95 to 100% of what they're supposed to move.
Yeah.
So adjusting is a big part of that. Teaching people how to do that is a big part of that.
Yeah. I feel like when I think about a chiropractor, I think about, the back crackings and all that stuff. But, once I started getting into a little bit more, I feel like it's PT work more than chiropractic work.
It depends on what kind of chiropractor you are. Like, I'm a different kind of chiropractor.
What kind are you?
Because being an athlete, I'm more your sports medicine. So we're going to spend time. It's quality time. Whereas you go to a typical chiropractor, right? It's 15-minute appointment, 5-minute appointment, and they're grinding people in and out. Whereas me, I want to spend time with you and teach you stuff, whether it's 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, to teach you how to fix yourself. One, it's the manual therapy, which is different than most chiropractors. They don't do a lot of manual therapy, deep tissue. There is part adjustment, but then also teaching you things that you can do, exercise to reinforce and reload what I've done so that you actually leave with a solution, not just me creating more problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because medicine tends to do that.
Right. Right.
It tends to kind of not, and that's kind of my goal. My dad, when you talk about goals, it goes way back to when my dad was in the hospital. And he was basically told that all of his pain was in his head. And I thought to myself, and it wasn't, he had an autoimmune disorder, but it's like nobody listens.
Yeah.
And even I don't listen sometimes, I'm like, sometimes I have to be really present, and that's kind of why I look at my schedule and I think to myself, I don't want to see any more than 10 a day or 5 or 6 a day, because why? I can't give the kind of quality I want to give to that patient and be there for them to help them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But that's where my passion started was my dad.
Yeah, okay.
And his health concerns. And
so like throughout your life, he had some health issues and stuff like that?
Me? No.
No, him.
Him, my dad, yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
He had rheumatoid arthritis
Okay,
that he actually changed with his diet.
Oh, right.
So it's like, in that, it's crazy. People, let's take a drug. Your diet, exercise can actually change a lot of things.
Yeah, it really can. I'm sure that's something that's important to you.
It's very important to me. I live my life that way. I want longevity.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of like when I get patients in the office, like, that longevity test, getting down to the floor and standing back up. Until you can do that, you've got work to do.
Yeah.
And still, when you do that, you still got to do work, because if you don't keep it up, what ends up happening, you go backwards.
Yeah. And then you get older and you go even more backwards.
Yes.
That sucks.
It does.
Yeah. So I guess like once you started training people and all that stuff, back in the college years and stuff like that, did you like look at athletes differently? Like the way they move, the way they're doing things?
I didn't really get into that until later. What I really got into was more the functional movement, the CrossFit movements. I think I really, I got inspired by trying to learn that, because I felt like so much training is not done that's functional. It's done in order to build muscle and this and that, which is great, but most of my clientele, they want to function more than anything else.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
So that was my passion.
So you got into chiropractic? Practic work or
Yes.
education? I don't know what you call it.
Doctor of chiropractic,
Doctor
yes.
chiropractor, yeah.
Yeah.
So are you a doctor?
I am a doctor.
Okay. You gotta utilize that more. Dr. Laurie, chiropractor.
Yes.
So you got your master. You got your college education, and then you went directly into your master's. Gotcha. And then
I worked a little in between some of that.
Yeah, I'm sure, right? And then what happened? And what happened within that? Were you still like just training people, like while you were doing your masters or something like that?
I was.
Gotcha. Yeah, just like personal training. Okay, gotcha.
Personal training at that point. Yeah.
And then at one point, when did you move to LA?
I moved to LA for chiropractic school.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right.
Yeah, I always wanted to move there.
Yeah. Why
So I got to go there.
the sun?
I was there when I was 13. I just wanted to come back. So
It's nice.
it's very nice. The weather's perfect.
What's your favorite part? I mean, what's your favorite like part of LA? Like Santa Monica or
I mean,
downtown or?
San Diego's great, right? I like Dana Point. I like any place, Manhattan Beach, Redondo Beach, anything that's kind of on the boardwalk, I think is nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
You know?
You definitely seem like a beach girl. Did you have like a lot of fun time there, or was it hard for you being there?
No, it was. I mean, school was tough, but I mean, it just.
Or even outside of school, you know?
I mean, I was there for like 3.5 years. I'm just trying to think. I mean, it was just like I lived in Long Beach, so I would get up and go for runs on the beach, and we go to. I live in Laguna Hills towards the end, so I'd go to the beach and hang out. So it was nice.
Yeah.
I got to enjoy. The driving was the only thing that wasn't a lot of fun.
Where were you driving from?
Well, just because we had to ride to Pasadena, or I had to go. I did my residency at Camp Pendleton, so I had to drive there. It was like a good hour and 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it was just, that was the only thing, and still is that way, I think, in California. You just got to drive everywhere unless you're kind of in your little micro.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. What made you move out?
Just, I was looking at my career, and I just decided to move to, I moved to Las Vegas, and then I ended up moving to, I didn't like Las Vegas too much, so I moved to Austin because my family moved there.
Okay.
So they moved from Chicago to Austin, and I knew I was never going to go back to Chicago. It was too cold. So
Yeah. But you didn't think California was going to do it for you?
I mean, I was going to go back after my year in Las Vegas.
Oh, gotcha.
But then my family moved to Austin, so I just went there. But I have been licensed in California, Nevada, Texas, and now North Carolina.
Damn. Okay.
So
I didn't know you had to do with each state.
yeah, you have to do jurisprudence exams to get yourself licensed in that state. Your degree just gets you one part.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So how was Austin then?
Austin was great. I spent the majority of my life there practicing.
Yeah.
It was a great triathlon community. That's where I really kind of got into doing a lot of triathlons. I trained, did a lot of racing. That was fun.
Yeah.
And then got married.
Yeah.
We had a little boy,
Nice.
Anderson. He's 12 now.
There you go.
And and it was, I mean, I treated a lot of runners, a lot of athletes, but I also treated a lot of different people, right?
Yeah.
I worked for this company called Arasti, and they were probably my favorite job that I had because they taught me a lot. It was probably the best job. I wish there was one here, but there's not.
Yeah.
But they provided a lot of evidence-based care. The model was 1 hour for each treatment. You did manual therapy, and then you reinforced it with a half an hour of weights and exercises and stretching.
Oh, damn.
Which was really nice. So I thought I liked that treatment model a lot. Right now I do a half an hour, which just seems like it's not enough time. There really is never enough time to get what you want to get done anyway, but
Yeah, that's true.
sometimes there is, sometimes it's not. Depends on the person. It's a lot of repetition. And then we decided to move here
Why here?
because we thought we'd have a better life.
Okay. Was it just crazy out there in Austin? You guys partying up?
No. No, it just, I don't know, just wanted to change. My dad had just died, and it was getting expensive, and we thought we would move here. I would take some time off, but then that didn't work out either because then we got separated, and
Yeah.
I had to go back to work,
Right.
but I still would have anyway.
Gotcha. All right.
So
Was there did you have different options? As far as okay, there's North Carolina, there's South Carolina, there's Virginia,
no, we just picked here.
Just picked here?
Yeah, we just picked here because it was
Interesting.
close to the beach, close to the mountains.
Yeah, that's true.
We just liked the location, and it was,
Gotcha. Okay. So you moved here and then you got a job.
I was a personal
were
trainer.
you on your own at that point?
No, we were still together.
You were still together. Okay.
I got a job working at Lifetime as a trainer, and I did some group exercise classes, signature classes.
Yeah.
And then I asked about the chiropractic job, and they created the position for me there, and I started that in May
Okay.
of last year. So I've been with Life Clinic for a year, and
Yeah.
I'll be with Lifetime 2 years in October with training. So I still do a little bit of that, a little bit. I do all 3 jobs,
Yeah.
mainly chiropractic, but
Weren't you doing PT work for celebrities in LA or something
yes. Well, and at Canyon Ranch, right?
like that? Okay.
So when I lived in Canyon Ranch, I trained, yes, a lot of celebrities.
Like who?
There's only one I can name. Her name is Linda Evangelista.
Ooh. Okay.
I trained her.
I'm bad with names, so I don't know.
Say what?
I'm bad with names, so I don't
She's
know.
one of the top 5 supermodels.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
The other ones, they never gave me the okay to say anything, so.
Okay. Gotcha. So okay, let's talk about that a little bit, because like that was probably your first experience like with high clientele, right? So first off, how did you get that job?
Somebody recommended me from where I was working at East Bank Club, and they said I'd be a good fit there.
Okay.
So I started off working in the wellness. So I started off working with the staff there, putting together wellness programs, exercise programs, stretching programs, that kind of stuff.
So you built the whole program? And
No, I just assisted
Oh, okay, gotcha.
somebody doing that. And then, because that was my internship. And then I decided to get into teaching classes and doing personal training there. And so then I moved into that.
Gotcha. How long were you there for?
God, 5, 7 years, I don't even remember. It's terrible.
That's fine.
The days and years go by so fast.
Well, I mean, that seems like a good experience for you.
It was a great experience. I got to travel and go places and work with a lot of people and learn a lot about myself.
Yeah. What do you mean travel? Like
They would take me places.
the clients would like meet
LA,
clients
New
here?
York, Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How was that experience for you?
That was fun.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you have like time to kind of explore each city that you went to?
I did, because
Yeah.
we would maybe work 3 to 4 hours a day, and then I'd have time the rest of the time doing on my own.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Damn. That's a nice job.
I know. I'm like, why did I leave that job?
Right. Go back.
Can I go back?
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
How was working with your first like high clientele there?
I mean, honestly, I didn't even recognize her.
Oh yeah.
And I just, I don't know, we just became friends, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think people forget that like celebrities are human.
They're very human. And they're, I mean, it's like, we always put them up here, but they're really we're all just the same. And I think I really kind of put them up here too. And then I realized that, you know, putting somebody up there means you knock them down, which is not always great either. So,
Yeah, that's true.
you know, put someone on a pedestal, you tend to knock them down eventually.
Right. Yeah.
Instead of just like saying, hey, we're all the same. And they are all the same.
Yeah.
They just make money doing something different than I do.
That's true. Did you, was there a specific, were they doing like specific things and that's why they were your client?
They wanted weight loss,
Okay.
you know, and they needed some motivation for doing it.
Gotcha. Okay. It was like, it's just like personal training stuff?
Yes.
It's nothing like
Diet,
chiropractic or
exercise,
anything?
and a lot of them had their own chefs, but sometimes we would, you know,
Yeah.
and that's where I started. We
So
started working on diet a lot more. I swear to God, diet's something that's really underrated.
Well, it's 80%, right?
I mean, it's huge from your immune system to just even recovery from exercise, along with rest and stress and all these things that we deal with that cause our body to be,
Yeah.
you know, high cortisol levels and da-da-da-da. We just don't take care of ourselves.
Right.
So
What's the most common like mistake people do with diets?
they go on different diets, right, without getting help. Just like I get patients who, you know, I was talking to somebody at the gym just now. Oh, I hurt my shoulder. You know, they're seeing a personal trainer versus coming and seeing me, who's the expert. You know, and that's that disconnect. Oh, I'm going to go to orthopedic and get some imaging. It's like, all they're going to do is give you an x-ray or an MRI or a shot, but they're really not going to fix why it happened. And that's kind of where what I do comes in handy. I may not fix a labral tear, I may not fix a disc herniation, but I'm going to teach you how to fix it yourself. People don't want that sometimes. Some do. Only about 7% actually want that. Same thing with diet, right? We would have less diabetes, less high cholesterol. People would just diet and exercise.
Right.
Our health care will be a lot lower if we took care of our health a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the people who like us who have, you know, we don't want to spend money on those things.
Right.
You know, it's like you don't have to. You can grow old gracefully and not have that stuff. My mom has, I've worked with her since I can remember, and she's 87 years old with dementia, and she's probably the most healthy person in the home besides her memory, physically.
Yeah.
And that's great.
Right.
That's what we all want.
Yeah. She probably would have been worse off if she didn't have the diet and the physical aspect of it.
Yeah,
Interesting.
definitely.
Dealing with celebrities, did you ever find a common thing that they all kind of like needed to work on?
I mean, the bottom line is exercise, right? Just burning more calories than you take in.
Yeah.
And then also making sure, especially if you're female, doing more strength training. You know, muscle's going to weigh more than fat. Muscle's going to burn more calories, and fat and you can burn calories till you're blue in the face, but until you get that muscle mass and that lean mass, you're still kind of metabolically less active, and you have to do more as you get older. So to me, it's just, are you in the tight realm or are you in the unstable realm?
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like people need a, I guess, I don't know, because you said there was different types of chiropractor types of chiropractors.
Right.
But like, I just feel like people aren't educated as much with what you actually do, not just cracking backs and stuff like that, but like everything else. So there needs to be like a little education for
yes. people. That's what we're going to do. We're going to start doing some things we can educate people on how to help themselves too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is there, what's like the most common injury or, I guess injury.
I'd say low back and necks are probably the most common.
Yeah, they're the most fragiles.
We tend to be very dominant in the front of our body, the quads, and then it pulls in our back more.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And so it's like really it's not as simple as people think it is, right? Getting in pain, getting out of pain, that's easier than changing the neural pathways that caused it, or the biomechanics that caused it. And that's what we have to educate people on addressing.
Yeah.
We educate people on, you're out of pain, problem solved. That's not solved. That means you're out of pain. And then you'll see, oh, here's my pain, I'm out of pain, and I'm back in pain, and I'm out of pain, I'm back in pain. It's this constant roller coaster, versus like managing it. Because you're not going to fix it, you're going to manage it.
Right.
And there's three things I was telling patients. One, getting your joints moving better. Your shoulder, your neck, your back, your hips, your ankles, getting them moving better. They tend to not move very well. Secondly, getting you to breathe better. We breathe up here instead of breathing into our bellies and using our core.
Yeah.
And then posture. Sitting and being in positions like this makes the whole front of the body tight and the back of the body not working as well. And not strong enough. So then we want to go stand up and do stuff, and we're tight here. What's going to end up happening to the back of our body? We're just going to keep pulling and pulling and pulling it until eventually we have pain.
Right.
And the biggest thing I see is a lot of repetitive stress injuries. I don't see a lot of torn ACLs or ankles or things like that. Because they tend to go to the orthopedics. If I sprain my ankle, I tend to go to the orthopedic.
Right, yeah.
But you don't have to. Those are all kind of things that I can work with too. And I always tell patients, I can help you. If I can't help you, I'll send you somewhere else. It's just kind of the way it goes. But I always say there's two things also that patients have to have: value in what you do, and they have to trust you.
Yeah.
And those are two things I think are really hard, because there's just a lot of things. I know for me, I'm skeptical about a lot of things too. I hear it.
Right.
So it takes time for people to get that.
Yeah. You said the people you see it's mostly stress induced.
Say it again.
Stress induced.
For what?
When they come see you.
Stress induced.
Yeah,
repetitive stress.
Repetitive stress.
So over time. So it's just like bad postures over time.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And then we go to lift up something and we think it's that lifting, but it's just the bad posture over time, repetitive stress.
Yeah.
Whereas like I'm skiing and I tear my ACL, that's more of a acute trauma.
Yeah.
Right?
I think since I started working with you, well, first off, haven't had any back pain.
Yay! But you're also doing the work. I said from day one, it's like you got to show up for your visits to learn the stuff, but you have to do your homework. If you're not willing to do both, you're not going to get better.
How often? I know like every day should be the key, right? But like,
I know
realistically, like that's probably not going to be a thing that people do. On a normal basis.
I personally try to 5 days a week get up and do some foam rolling and some lacrosse ball stuff and do stretches. And I'll pick 3 or 4 in the morning and 3 or 4 at night. And I try. On the weekends, I'm not as good, During the week when I'm at work and I'm doing stuff, I'm pretty active, so I can kind of put it into what I do. It's a lot harder for other people.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I told the trainer, when I was working with the trainer, I'm like, do this stuff with your clients. They need it just as much as you do. Teach them something.
Yeah.
Don't put the hypervolt on them. That's not going to that's not going to teach them anything to help themselves. You're just making them more reliant on you, which is okay if that's what they want. But, it's just a filler. It's a recovery tool. It's not going to fix anything. We're stretching after a workout. So I tell all my patients now, I'm like, I'm not doing the hypervolt on you. We're going to do stretches. You're going to do something that I need you to repeat over and over and over again so you have that in your system so that you have the discipline and the repetition to do it. And that's the key to everything.
Yeah.
Brushing your teeth. How long did it take you to remember to do that? I mean, I'm still telling my son to brush his teeth. I'm still trying to get him to stretch. I've been teaching him to stretch since he's been 5 years old, and he's 12. So I'm teaching him all the tools that I teach my patients. Doesn't mean he's going to use them, but you have them.
Right.
Like I said, you use them how you want to use them, right? Like, you're the one that gets the benefit out of it. You want to come see me? I'm glad to take your money.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't only get, like, I get some education when I see you. And I think that's important, too, because I'm looking at, if I'm feeling something here, like, from looking at the pictures that you show me in the office, it's like, oh, I'm imagining where that muscle is going to and stuff like that. So it's almost like that education part of it.
And that's important.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So the most common injury you see is the neck and the back. Is the neck from just the posture kind of thing?
Correct. Neck
Gotcha.
and back is
Okay.
mainly posture. Because what do we do all day? We sit.
Yeah.
And so I'll tell patients, get a sit-stand desk, get a kneeling desk, do some half knee. Like right now, instead of sitting like this, which is tarot posture, right? You can get on both knees or one knee.
Yeah.
And do stuff versus, and I got better posture. Now I'm doing an exercise at the same time I'm sitting versus relying on passive things to make me sit. And those are things that I try to tell patients, which obviously you can see I'm not doing right now either.
You're good.
Am I still in there?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So, like, what's the first thing you kind of do with a client when they first come in and see you? You haven't seen them the first meet.
Well, obviously they do all the history and the injury stuff online. I look at that before I see them. And then we do a new patient exam where I do functional movement screens and some breakouts just to kind of find out where are they moving well. And then we branch out to some orthopedics so I can see, are they stable, are they unstable? Because if they're unstable, or they got something else going on, you need to send them somewhere else. Neurological, see if they're, doing well firing there. And then obviously testing their muscles and palpating their muscles, seeing what's tight, what's not tight.
Yeah.
And how this tightness affects, like with you, right? Just you were laying on your belly and I just bring your heel to your butt and you can see how the tightness in the front of the body affects the back of the body. So I try to kind of, like I said, educate you as far as like, here's where the problem is, here's where you feel the pain.
Right.
They're two different things.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like, you want to fix both. I can rub your back, you'll feel better for a day or two, but it comes back. Right? So I just want to fix what's the root underlying cause, and that's what the art of what we have to do. And it takes time sometimes. Sometimes, it takes 3 or 4 visits to figure out, are we on the right track? Is it a disc herniation? Is it for the low back? Is it a sprain strain? Is it a facet joint? There's 3 different things that can happen in there, right? So we got to kind of see how you respond to treatment too. Some people get better, which means it's a simple problem. Some people get worse. All that means that there's something else going on that's how do you say it? The treatment's going to help guide what's going on by how you respond to it.
Yeah.
Getting worse is not a bad concept. People look at this. I'm getting worse. I should be getting better. Sometimes you get worse because there's something more serious going on. Sometimes the pain moves around because it's not coming from there. Sometimes you work on muscles that are guarding the body and make them unstable by going in there and releasing them. So you got to be very careful with how you treat patients.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can hurt them.
Right.
I mean, it's called practice, unfortunately, and
Yeah.
and there's been a few people that I've worked with that, it went the other direction, and that happens. It's unfortunate, and I hope to learn from those. I hope to always learn from mistakes that I make me a better doctor.
Right.
But it's all also about communication, right? I mean, it's talking to patients and talking to them after their visits and seeing how they're doing, and sometimes we just don't.
Yeah, I feel like once you make that one mistake, you never really want to do that again.
Never.
So you prevent it as much as you can.
I remember I told this one patient one time, I said, we were talking about our posture, I said, even if your posture's not that great, because nobody has great posture, I don't have great posture, we're going to get you stronger enough so you can hold that. Well, she got really upset with me because I told her she didn't have good posture. And I was just like, I was trying to tell her in a nice way that, well, anyway, you get the point. She was so mad at me. I'm not coming back to see you. I'm like, that's okay. You can go see my partner, Tony. He'll help you.
Yeah.
Don't stop care. Like, just because we didn't hit it off, it doesn't mean anything. It's.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of times people don't want to know the truth.
Yeah.
And when they get the truth, I remember I had this patient, I told him, you do everything right except for you don't breathe right. I didn't say exactly like that. A year later, I saw him in the gym. He's like, you're right, Laurie. I don't breathe right. You know? So it was nice to hear that. Like, I'm going to tell you stuff you don't want to hear because that's the truth.
Right.
And you can trust that I'm always going to do that for you. And it's, you know, you may not like how the delivery goes, but no, it comes with a big heart, and I care.
Yeah. I could tell you have a big heart. I wish like chiropractors and personal trainers, or you know, some type of those kind of people like just would communicate, and I feel like things would be better off that way, like for the client.
Totally.
You know? So.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that do you do that at the
I
gym?
try.
Yeah.
Some trainers are open to it, and some trainers are not.
Gotcha. Yeah, you gotta kind of like wing it.
Well, and it's kind of like sometimes it's like I'll write notes down, but sometimes, it's.
Yeah, I feel like it just has to come together somehow because there's
It
so much
does.
separation between
It does.
personal trainers, physical therapists, chiropractors, you know, all those people.
Well, it's like I had a patient this morning, and I sent her to Alpha Strength class, and I'm like, you know, she's doing that because she needs the strength, and she's like, wow, you know, which is another avenue doing it. And Jared's really great, so it worked out really well. But you know, sometimes it's just, everything always. I mean, things could always be better.
Yeah, that's true.
And we can always try to do better.
Right.
One day at a time.
That's the other thing too about classes, for example, like workout classes.
Yes.
It's like you could do all these workout classes, but I find sometimes that I'm in pain afterwards, and then come to realize, oh, that one workout that I did in class, I shouldn't have done it because of the lack of stability or something in my shoulder or something like that, you know?
And a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, no, because it doesn't hurt at the time, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like...
And that's repetitive stress injury, because it's like it doesn't hurt at the time that you're doing it, but it hurts later, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. But
Yeah.
and it's just like getting ourselves more stable. It takes a couple of years for that neurology to change even 80%. So
All right.
know that along the way, like I said, you manage it. Sometimes it takes decades to change patterns. That's why I love doing what I do, and I love training because I'm fixing me. I've had every injury known to mankind.
Like what? Like from your sports days or something?
Yeah, no, even just running, knee pain, foot pain, Achilles pain, neck pain. I had 3 disc herniations. Back pain, I had disc herniations. I've got no disc there. If people were to see my spine, they were like, why don't you have pain? Because I move.
Yeah.
The lack of movement is what causes pain. Look at these 89-year-olds on YouTube. What are they doing? They're moving their body. And arthritis, just like basically strength training for muscles, the more you have a joint that doesn't move well, the more I'm going to build bone in that area. Okay. So bone's going to respond to the stress you place on, just like muscle does. And people call them cone arthritis. Well, you can actually deter arthritis by making sure the bones move better. Gotcha. And that's kind of things I work on with you.
Yeah. That's why the joint moving is
It's so important, and that's that joint in the shoulder moving right and being stable communicates with my brain, and then my brain communicates the body, which controls how it moves.
Right.
And the better it moves, and how I perform better. I mean, I'll get pickleball players, I'll get tennis players, you name it, and they're like, I'm performing better. I'm doing things like I didn't even know, but it takes time.
Yeah. Do you, we're talking about knee pain a little bit.
Yes.
Squats aren't good.
Squats are actually good. As long as you have the right mechanics. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
A squat is a great test we use, right? It's looking at ankle mobility, hip mobility. It's looking at core stability and muscles that stabilize our scapula in the back here, right? So if those things are not working well, it tells me a lot of things. And that's where I can use that. But it's a squat as we do getting in and out of a chair, right? How many people lean forward to get out of a chair when they should be going straight up in the air? And in fact, I had a tennis player in my office who had a quad strain. And I had her just sit down and do a stand up, and I'm like, okay. So, those are kind of just basic stuff that you have to work on.
Yeah.
Not being so dominant in the front of the body when we squat, using the glutes and hamstrings and the adductors. So if we go deep enough in a squat and load it, it's better for us than not.
Yeah.
Some people limit their range of motion. Oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. I mean, based on what model? If I can't load my body at 95% of the range of motion, I probably have no business doing anything else.
Yeah, so because I didn't mean to say like squats aren't good,
Oh,
but
no.
squats aren't good. Maybe if you have knee pain.
Correct, but you got to figure out why you have knee pain, right? That's my job. So I had a patient today. If you start having crepitus or noise in your knees, there's probably a reason. That's the first warning sign that something's not moving well. I adjusted and fixed it. She didn't have it anymore. So
Like even if you hear popping when you get up
shouldn't.
or crackling.
Shouldn't. That's the sign that something's not right.
Interesting.
Because it's basically tendons growing in our bone, which shouldn't be happening.
Interesting. So is it not like an age thing?
Nope.
Okay. Guess I
It's
gotta
a
work on my
lack
knees
of
more.
movement, lack of just like move well, move often, right?
Yeah.
If we're not moving well and not stable and have enough mobility, you're going to eventually hurt yourself. And we just don't pay attention to. We don't know the difference between wellness and sick care. Kids do more than we do. Like my son will say, "Mom, I need an adjustment." He knows because he's out of wellness. Because I've adjusted him since he was a little baby.
Right.
You know. But most people, the best kept secret is getting adjusted. I can't pay for that. Well, you're going to pay for it later.
Right.
You know, and then you're just managing it. Whereas you get kids, you get them knowing what wellness is, eating right, exercising, on a certain, like you said, balance, right? Nothing crazy. Like I'm not, you know, like for him 3 or 4 times a week. I want him, like before his hockey game on Saturday, I had him rolling.
Yeah.
After his hockey game, I had him stretching. Why? And I only pick 3 or 4. It's not like he's got to do a ton. It's just he's got to do it. Otherwise, he's not going to perform well.
Right.
Regardless of injury, the more you play, the more you get injured. But if you perform well, isn't that why we do what we do? I mean, even if I get injured, am I going to still kind of probably work out? Yes, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's very true.
I mean, and I want my patients to work out. Like today, I was talking to patients like, you know, here's what's going to happen. It's better if you don't work out and you find other things to do because that does not seem to help you. But if you have to do it mentally to get yourself there, you're not going to do more damage. You're just not very stable doing it. So it's kind of you have to, you know, you got to make choices based on your body.
Yeah.
Like for me, you know, I make choices, but those choices have consequences long term. So you can take short term pain for long term problem.
Right.
Like train smart, not hard.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Well, damn. I got a lot of work to do, I think.
Well, we all do. That's the whole fun of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I enjoy, like, picking my hair, I'll do this stretch, that stretch. You know, I mean, not that I enjoy it, but once I'm done with it, I feel better, right?
Right. I think that's something that we got to remember is, I don't know. I feel like, I guess that's where group classes come in. Have you ever thought about, you know, working with sports again?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like joining the NHL team
I'd
as
like
a chiropractor.
to. I would love that.
Yeah, I think that'd be good for you. I feel like you would enjoy it for sure.
It's getting the doors open and, you know, it's like a lot of times it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I
You
get
know.
that.
That's how it was in Austin with the UT Athletics.
Say that again?
That's how it was in Austin.
Oh, gotcha.
You know, it's like they've got their group that's there and, you know, they don't typically leave very easily.
Gotcha. Was it only in LA that you were traveling a lot?
It was actually, I was living
California?
in Tucson.
Tucson.
Tucson,
Oh,
then
that's when you were.
Yeah, I traveled from
Gotcha.
Canyon Ranch, yeah.
Okay. And then so you pretty much came here and started working. How was it kind of adjusting here from Austin?
Oh God, good question. I don't think I even gave it any thought. I'm kind of the person that just kind of accepts the way things are and just does it. You know
You're
what I
a
mean?
survivalist.
Probably, yeah. I may complain about it, but I didn't really. I mean, I like new adventures. I like
I can see that for you.
change a little bit.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
You guys.
I lived in Tucson, Arizona, then I was in California, then I was in Las Vegas, Austin, now here, and you know, I may not be here the rest of my life. I don't know where I'll be.
Out of all the places, which one's your favorite?
Oh wow. I don't think I have one favorite. I think they're all been really good spots to pick and land. You know?
At the time in your life, probably, right?
I mean, I love being here. My best friend, Barbara, lives in South Carolina, so I get to go down and see her.
Nice.
So that's nice. We haven't seen each other in like 20 years, and we just kind of picked up
Yeah.
where we left off, so that's nice. She's a chiropractor down there. I'm like, I wish I could practice with her, but I can't. I gotta work here. My son's got school. I'm not leaving him.
Oh, gotcha. I was gonna say, like, you just moved down there.
I know.
Live together, you know, have a little
Yeah.
commune or something.
I know, right?
All right, cool. So I guess that's pretty much it.
Cool.
Did you want
Thank
to
you.
talk about anything else?
No, just thank you for taking the time to educate people about taking care of their health and wellness and staying out of the doctor's offices, getting away from pills and thinking about looking at functional, whether it's functional wellness as far as chiropractic care is concerned, and obviously functional wellness as far as nutritional, right? Eating healthy. I mean, a lot of times vitamins, smoothies, there's so much out there. Get a nutritionist, you know,
Right.
spend some money, invest some money. It is an investment, but your investment in your health is important.
Yeah. Are you a nutritionist as well?
No.
Okay. 'Cause
But
I know
Matthew at work is really good.
Matthew. Oh no, Matthew.
He's one of the trainers up. He's actually he's a functional medicine. If I have anybody, I always try to send it to him. He does some blood panels and that kind of stuff.
Oh really?
Yeah, you should see him. You should see him.
I didn't know that.
I'll introduce you guys.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's really important. I mean, I did it years ago. Yes, like I said, it's an investment like anything else. But you want quality of life. You want to age well.
Yeah.
It's what you got to do.
Yeah, and I think people really tend to just wait until there's pain in order to do those kind of works, the exercises.
Well, yeah,
and
because
stuff
you go to the, like for me, I went to the car. I take my car in, and they're like, "Here's the cost for this thing. Does my car insurance pay for that cost, or do I have to pay for that cost?" When you come to see me, you think your insurance is going to pay for it, but it's like it's only sick care. It's only going to pay if you're in the hospital. If you look at yourself and say, "Here, I'm on top of the mountain. I know this is going to happen to me eventually. Why am I going to wait till I fall all the way down?
Right.
Why?
Yeah.
I don't get it. We live. I mean."
Yeah, I don't get it either.
I don't get like diet and exercise. I know we have to work, but you know, you can spend 20 minutes, you can find 20 minutes in your day, get off the social media, go for a walk.
Right, right. Well, shit, even 5 minutes.
Do some stretches. I put a video on. There's tons of videos. Like, for example, things do not have to cost a lot of money, right? That's kind of what I also want to tell people. It's like you need a foam or a lacrosse ball. You can do some yoga videos that are on YouTube that are free. And the yoga is always a good place to start. And then the strength training, definitely, I always recommend, you know, again, moving well, moving often, kind of like you said, I'll do something, I'll hurt myself. When you start loading the body with weights, you can get hurt. So you really kind of want to make sure that you're doing it well. And unfortunately, like when I teach the signature classes, I'm typically watching a lot of people's posture, but sometimes people just don't want to listen.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of trainers kind of sometimes stop engaging in that with them. But
Yeah. That's like
I
my
find
number
like,
one.
hey, can I give you some advice? Can I help you with this? You know,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just trying to help you move better.
Yeah, that's how I was when I was teaching MMA. Like my job, I would love going around and just fixing form. Like,
Yeah.
that's my thing. That's like my number one. If you can't get form right, you shouldn't be doing it.
No,
You know.
exactly.
That's why I don't like these like kickboxing classes that are workout.
Yeah.
But it's terrible form. They're gonna hurt themselves eventually.
But they just don't care.
Right.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, thank you so much.
Yeah. No problem.
Look forward to more.
Yeah. Absolutely.